Welcome to Tech Thursday. This is our second Tech Thursday that we are, it's a new feature that we've started, and we're so glad to have you all. Today we are going to be talking about Bookshare, and we have a special guest presenter with us today, and that is Tiffany Jenkins. I'm Kimberly Berry, by the way. I'm a teacher of the visually impaired. Shelly Gladden is our program manager here at Able Tech. She's hosting the Zoom, and she's going to be helping us run our polls, and she's going to be, manning the chat, staffing the chat, letting us know if you all have questions and things like that. So I wanted to be sure that you know who that is. That's Shelly. So we're going to start off. I'm going to give you just a little rundown of what today's webinar is going to have. We have some opening polls, as I mentioned. I will be giving an overview of Bookshare, and then Tiffany will join us with some tips and tricks that she's got. We'll have a pretty long session for question and answer, although you can break in and ask your questions at any time as we are going through the webinar. And then at the end, we'll have some closing polls. If you were here with us last week, we sent out a Survey Monkey, and we're thinking that if we can capture these closing questions in the actual webinar, we'll get more response. So we're going to save some time to do that in the end. All righty. So let me stop sharing for just a moment on this. And so again, as we get started, I wanted just to take a moment and tell everybody, you know, how much we really appreciate that you all are joining us. I know there's so much going on. I mean, there was a bad tornado in Medill yesterday evening. A couple people were killed, and there's, destruction. Obviously, everybody is dealing with school closures and, due to the COVID-19 situation and, the homeschooling, learning at home, teaching and learning. And so we're just glad that you're taking the time out of your day to join us. And of course, we know that you're interested in Bookshare and helping to serve your students. We do have some parents and people from other agencies and things like that with us as well. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Shelly, if you can pull up the first poll, we just want to make sure, kind of have a good idea of who is joining us and, the agencies that you're with and, so that we have a good way to gauge your interest. So here's the poll. Please let us know what area you represent serving Oklahomans with disabilities. And so the results are coming in. Lots of special education, a little bit of higher ed, definitely some therapy and service providers. We have some state agencies and nonprofits and some others. I do hope we have some parents on with us today. I think we probably will. Lots of the Able Tech, we promoted the webinar and then we shared it on Facebook and lots of different groups. So we were definitely expecting a lot of representation from the different groups. Give you just another second or two. It looks like most of the results are in. We have 79% of the people that voted. So we can probably call that good. It's 63% special education, 6% higher ed, 9% therapy, 17% state agency, 6% other. So that gives us a good idea. It's kind of what we were thinking. I'm going to go ahead and we share the results. Does everybody see that? All right. Okay, so without further ado, I wanted to go ahead and take us to the Bookshare website, and I'm going to give you just a quick look around, get back to the home page so that you would see. I know from the emails of people that registered, many of you have organizational accounts already. For those that don't, or for those that have not really used the accounts a lot, served kids with it, for parents, we really want to make sure that you have a good idea of how you access Bookshare services. And so I'm going to be showing you the main home page. I grabbed a little screenshot that I wanted to be sure and show you if I can make sure that I get it big enough. So hold on, let's see. And I know I don't have that screenshot shared, so I tell you what, that's not going to work. I'll get to the thing that I wanted to show you in just a minute. It's something that I think is pretty important about how, like, what even is Bookshare, and I didn't want to get into too far into our discussion before you had a good idea. So here, I've actually just clicked into the page where it has it. So for students with dyslexia, blindness, cerebral palsy, and other reading barriers,
Kimberly,
Bookshare is a free online.
we're
you guys here?
We're only seeing you. We're not seeing your screen.
Oh gosh, I probably just didn't do the darn share thing. Thanks for telling me.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here. I'm here to have your back.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So here is just a page on the, well, you got to miss all my little behind the scenes actions of how I got to this page. So that's good. It's a surprise. Okay. So students with dyslexia, blindness, cerebral palsy, other reading barriers, Bookshare is a free online library that provides access to over 800,000 ebooks in easy to read formats. We'll go through, all the ways to get it. The thing about the Bookshare books is, the accessibility. So they describe it as students can read books in audio, follow text with karaoke style highlighting. Anybody that knows me knows I love karaoke. You can read in Braille or large font, customize the reading experience to suit the individual learning style. You can create school accounts and easily assign the books to students to read on their own. Parents can sign up students to read for free, and also to access the books at home independently. There's another little paragraph just right below that I want to make sure. This is also what's going on right now that's really makes it important, not just for the special education classes and the kids that meet the qualification, but for students that don't qualify. Bookshare also has nearly 10,000 ebooks that are in this specialized format, accessible, ready to read, and absolutely anybody can read those. And that is because they are either in the public domain, meaning that the copyright has expired or there was no copyright, or they've been given to Bookshare from a publisher or like through a Creative Commons license. So that's what Bookshare is. If anybody was wondering what the heck it even is. So and be sure and break in if you have questions or put them in the chat. I'm going to just click back to the main page because this is, again, where I wanted to make sure you knew how to get to it. So it's just www.bookshare.org. And from their home screen, you can get to everything you need. There, along the top, you can see Bookshare, is it for me, how to get started, get involved, help center. I have to move my little window of people out of the way. My Bookshare. My Bookshare is that's your main place you're going to be clicking when you already have a membership. That gives, if you have an account, that gives you the access to everything you need. Learning at home during COVID, there's a link here, and this is something that Tiffany is going to show you a little bit more about when she comes on. So some specific guidelines and help for people for teachers helping their kids at home and for parents who are trying to help their kids. I'm just going to click on the sign up today because that's green box, easy, hit the go. That's where you can get some great information. So once you're on that sign up page, obviously you can sign up. There's a link to find out how you read books, how you find books. There are some tutorials right here that help you figure out which kind of sign up do I choose. Because down below, you'll see there's the choices. You can have an individual account or you can have an organizational account. You can watch the videos. They're super short. But I'll just give you the quick rundown. Individual is obviously it's for the person who is using the Bookshare, qualifies for Bookshare. It is the person who's going to be reading it. The organization is for schools, and schools give their students access. through the organizational account. Teachers create an account, sign up their students, add books to the reading list, help their kids get the books, and then they also can help them get an individual account through that. So if you are if you work for a school, or if your kids go to school, that's the best way to go, is to sign up organization. For individuals, adults, anybody who has a print disability, which is a barrier to reading, and they're not associated with a school, then that's the sign up individual. If you are a parent and you haven't been able to get the school to help, unfortunately, one reason or another, you actually can sign up through the individual account. It's still free. It just takes a little bit of extra work, proving the qualifications, whereas proving the qualifications are super easy in the sign up organization, because the teachers are able to be the ones who say that you are qualified. Okay, so just then I clicked on Is Bookshare for Me? And that is the great place to find out who qualifies for Bookshare. The big question we get a lot is, what does it cost? So who qualifies? I am going to click on that, because this is a great place for you to refer back to if you ever have questions. So these are the main categories of people who qualify are listed. People who have learning disabilities, and then people who have low vision or blindness. This is the second category. And the third category is people who have physical disabilities. So for all three of these, you have this disability, and it prevents you from accessing text in the same way that individuals who don't have a disability are able to access it. So that's pretty much the quick and dirty on how you qualify. Who doesn't qualify, or who doesn't automatically qualify. So all the other categories of disability, if you think about all the other categories that a person qualified for special education, autism, phone's going off, autism, intellectual disabilities, ADHD, hearing loss, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, it just goes on and on. It's not saying they don't qualify, it's saying that they don't automatically qualify. There's nothing that says a person doesn't have a coexisting print disability with autism or intellectual disabilities, ADHD, all of those. It's, you have to look at it for each person. Does this person have, difficulty accessing the standard text? If they're given text with these accessibility features, can they then read? That's a print disability. So that's what they qualify on, not that they had autism or intellectual disability. So you always have to go back to these three. And when you're signing your students up, it's this three. You just have to pick which one it is. Or they can have more than one. Someone could have a learning disability and a physical disability. So enough on that. Okay, the other big question, what is a competent authority? There's a video you can watch. I'm not going to play it right this second, because sometimes there's issues with playing videos and everybody hearing it, but it's basically what it says is, if you're a professional who can tell if a student has difficulty accessing the standard print due to disabilities, then you're a person who is qualified as the certified professional. So just knowing most of the people who joined this, your special education teachers, your speech therapists, even occupational therapists, counselors, you're qualified. If you're a parent, then you would need to have a doctor or person who is qualified. And again, to access all those free books, you don't have to be qualified, but most of the people that we're trying to help today, they are qualified, and we want to make sure that you are not just giving them free access to the public domain books right now as a quick fix, but let's help them really get their memberships and get the books, do it in the way that they'll have it for life, not just for now. Okay, let's see. There's one more thing I wanted to show, because this is kind of the how you use it, how you use Bookshare. I got to get back to the home page to get to it. Who qualifies? Let's see. Sign up today. How to find books, how to read books, step-by-step instructions. Okay, this is it. Under the choose a membership type, there were a couple of videos that will walk you through how you sign up for the organization. So I don't need to show you that. You can watch the video. But the step-by-step instructions, I'm just going to click on it and scroll through real quick. Because this is all here. It tells you how to sign up your school, clicking on the sign up organization. You get a form that you go through that form, and then it sets you up where you get a form that you have to sign and send back in. Once you have your account and you set it up, then you have to add the student members. So this goes through how you add the students. It's all very quick tutorial, so I don't have to go through each thing specifically with you, but you're adding each of the students. You are, for each student, giving all their details, birth date. You can make up the password and the username for them, which is going to be what the student uses to log in and get the books that you've given them. And you can also help them to get the individual account. If you have teachers, are what's the people who are assigning the students. If you're at a district that has a lot of teachers that, you don't want just one teacher to have to be in charge of all the kids. You can sign up multiple teachers as sponsors. So it goes through the process of how you add the teachers to be a sponsor, who then in turn would assign their own students. And the next page is telling exactly how you get the books. So it's part of the process of when you're signing the students up, you can search for books, or you can search using the search bar at the top of the page from any page you're on Bookshare. Assigning them to students, creating the reading list, it's all in here. It's easy, but it's a process. So just go back to this little instruction form at any time to go through the reading list. And one more page, let's see. Okay, and then the final, it's how you actually read the books. I'm just gonna try to read this or play this video, and if it doesn't work, we'll dump out of it real quick, but it's a short one, and I think this gives you a quick idea of how the students access the books. So let's try this.
We're not getting your audio, Kim.
Okay, not getting audio, I hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I stopped sharing because I'm kind of checking my phone. I'm like, I think I'm probably going over. All right, so do we have any questions before we move on to Tiffany? Shelly, I haven't had a chance to look in the chat. So do you have any burning questions, or should we just go right on?
We're doing pretty good. Tiffany's doing the honors of answering some questions as they come through. Thank you so very much, because they are pretty specific to the topic. But in case anybody hasn't seen it yet, someone asked the question, for the organization side, do individual teachers get accounts, or would we do an account for the whole district?
And like
Okay, wait.
On that, the bigger your organization is, the easier it's going to be able to share books. So you really need to check with your district. A lot of our districts in Oklahoma have had an account. If for some reason you try to log yourself in and you find that you already have an account, reach out to Bookshare. They will help you reset and find out who the person who may have left your district who's assigned currently, and help you reassign stuff. One of the things I'm going to show you in a minute is like when we have reading lists. If you have a larger district and you can get your entire third grade to all agree on the third grade books, then you can assign those all to all the third graders. But you can have as many sponsors as you need. So if you want to do it as a district level, you can, or if you want to do it by some of the schools are doing it by building.
So you can go ahead and share, Tiffany, and I think we're just right on schedule if you wanted to start. And for anybody who registered before noon, I think I did send you the links that Tiffany is going to be going through. So you should have those specific links to go to later.
And I'm going to apologize. You may hear a dog barking. The trash man just showed up. So like she was saying, the main screen that everyone starts from is the Bain Bookshare page. Right now, my favorite place to go to for parents and teachers is underneath the main page. It says Get Tips. This is a new page that they have created in order to help people get ready for COVID. And if the internet behaves itself, it's going to take you to a page that gives you two options. It has for the educator page and for the parents page. Since I know most of us are going to be educators, I'm going to go ahead and hit the educator page because it has a lot of information condensed into one tiny space, which I'm very grateful for. It has, like she said, how to get books, how to assign one book, how to assign multiple books, how to get individual access to your students. One of the things that's very new in the last 6 months is you used to have an individual account that then the school lost the ability to set the password and username for. And that was kind of a nightmare because when student lost password, it was really hard to reset it because you had to figure out which parent email address had been used. What they are doing now is they have the ability for the school to maintain the username and password so that if you need to, the school can reset the password. So it has the information on how to do that new stuff. My favorite page that they have come up with is they have the educator page. And this is packed quickly with lots of information, but you can save it onto your desktop, but it has quick links to adding your sponsor or adding your members. It has quick links for assigning those books and has it to where it's all in one location. You're not having to go find a bunch of different websites for it and everything. One of the things that they do have that is great, and it's also on the parent side, they have a parent page on how to get started with the short guides too. Both of them have the option to link you to the reading tool wizard, which if you have kids at home, that's going to be the first place that you're going to want to send mom and dad to, because it will take them to 3 options and it will walk them through systematically whether they're using the computer, the tablet, and then the nice thing about it is it will also then give them a free option or paid options for accessing the books. So depending on what they have and everything. And I'm going to quickly go into the iOS one just so you guys can see how it shows it, if it will load. So obviously the free one they have is the Dolphin Easy Reader. It allows you to do the synchronized word and highlighting. And then they also share 2 of the paid versions. My personal favorite is my VoiceStream Reader. I'm an avid VoiceStream Reader user, but the Dolphin Reader, if that's what the parents have the ability to sign up for right now, is very good at getting the kids started. So that's kind of quickly getting some access into our kids' hands is using the Dolphin Reader. Right now, if I go back to that educator page real quick, went back too many clicks. One of the things it has is finding great books. It has, one of the things that they do is they have collections of books based on leveled readers, Lexile level, AR, so that you can use these as a guide to help you add books quickly to your students' list. You can have it to where you have to wait for the student to ask you for each book to read, but that's going to be slow on the student end, and it's also going to mean you're going to get lots of emails. So one of the things that they've done by being able to do this is if you know that you have a group of kids that are all in that Lexile 300 series, or that's at least where their intellect is. Sometimes that's what we want to look at is where their intellect is and not necessarily their true reading ability. Like this one has 51 books in it. With the little buttons up here, I can either copy or subscribe. If I wanted to copy this list It's going to give me the option of renaming it to what I wanted. So I may rename it to my 3rd grade Lexiles. And I can decide who or where I'm going to assign these books to. The nice thing about that is it allows you to then dump larger amounts of books into our kids' ability. It allows them to actually walk into the library and pick a book off the shelf virtually. They have a lot of your favorite titles, obviously Fly Guy, Dogman, Goosebumps. If you're not sure about a specific book, you can always remove a book from your reading list, especially if you copy it over. If you do the subscribe, as other books are added to this Lexile level, your library will continue to grow. So that's kind of one of my favorite things about those. The other thing I want to go back to is on that page, on the educator page, they have helped you guys, if you have people who are not qualifying for Bookshare at this exact moment, on finding books that are in the public domain. So you can hit the find more books, and it's going to take you to their page, and it has list of public domain books that are available on Bookshare, but they're also giving you some list of where there may be some free books available, whether it is for just open right now for COVID, or that may be free all the time. So some of these will be changing. So really quickly, if I wanted to look at the free children books for all, this is 43 books that anyone can come and look at. They're all in the public domain. So if you wanted to, you could share this quick link collection page straight to your classroom, and they can come and read any book. And for them to be able to read it, all they need to do is to read now. And that's how quick and easy you can have it to where someone can come and read a book. So that's kind of a quick way of getting some books into their hands. There's almost 10,000 books in the public domain. They have lots of fun ones. I've actually even used a couple of these in my therapy with some of the kids that I've been working with lately. Real quick, I'm going to show you an example of one that is available in the public domain. And it is about one of our Supreme Court justices. If it loads, you never know how the internet's going to behave. So they have this one. It makes it to where really quickly you can hit the read now. And just so you guys have an idea of what books look like when you're using the web browser reader, I'll hit the read now. It's going to take a second for it to load, and it will give you the ability to change a few options. You're going to be able to change the color screen. You'll be able to change the highlightation and a little bit of the sound speed. One of the biggest thing people have is the sound of the voices. The sound of the voices that are sometimes basic are not our favorite, but there are ways of upgrading the sounds on almost every device. I think I have mine set to a Canadian at the moment. I think because I'm online, it's not going to try to open the book very well. So that's kind of one of the things that you can do there. I wished it was opening. I'm going to leave it in the background, see if it opens. So
I was going to mention, you hadn't said the title in that, so what was the title of that book?
That one was, what did I say it was?
Well, it was Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's Ordinary People Change the World. Ooh, it's starting to load.
There you go. You had it.
So it has it. Right now I have mine in book view. And so it's not going to really you won't be able to hear it really well, but I want you to see how it does the highlightation of where it's reading. I know you can't really hear it right now. And like I said, I have mine set to a Canadian voice on mine. You can change all these settings by hitting the setting button right here. You can change it to black, Dune. You can also change it to Beeline. Some of our kids are really enjoying the Beeline, and what it does is it changes it from the text. It changes the color. If you look up here, it goes from blue to black, black to red, red back to black, so that the kids can track the color from the end of the sentence to the next sentence. So some of the kids really enjoy those things. But I mean, this one's got great pictures and everything, and that's one of the things that you can do. I know here in the future, we're gonna have some friends from Microsoft also doing some demonstrations. One of the things you can do is you can save these books into Microsoft Word and you read them in Immersive Reader, which is kind of a nice way of doing it. On any book, whether you're on a free book or another book that you're logged in to your dashboard in, because I'm actually logged in as the organizational demo right now, you'll see on any page other books. I can look for other books that are by this author, or I can look for books that are in different categories. That's another quick way for me to be able to decide, ooh, I really like this author. He's really great for this age group. I want to share some more of his books. So I can see all of his books. And if I wanted to add one of his books to my reading list, all I would have to do would be click the reading list. It's going to pull up my reading list. Maybe. It should be pulling up my reading list box. I think I have too many things open. Here we go. So this one, so if I wanted to add it to my 4th grade class, I could just add it to my 4th grade class with a quick click like that. Then that book is now available to anyone that I have assigned to my 4th grade class. The other one of my favorite places that I really love is under Help Center. You have the Learning Center. They have tried really hard to make it easy to use Bookshare. They love having feedback, but they have it to where they've got webinars that they've been doing with different organizations, additional ways to sign up and do different manage your account information. But one of the newest things that they have is this how-to videos and guide page. And on this how-to video and guide page, they have snippets for as short as 30 seconds, if it's a real simple thing to be doing, all the way to 20-minute videos for you to be able to watch. So they have the educator shortcut guides. If you really quickly wanted to see how to add a sponsor, you could quickly turn to it. It would walk you through in 45 seconds on how to access that, which is kind of a quick way of doing it. And so they have some of them in video only, some of them are video and PDFs. However, they had it available. They've thrown up that information here, trying to make it as easily accessible for people as they possibly can. They also on this page have information on how to use like the CAPTI, which is an option for being able to read it, how to use the VoiceStream Reader, how to use Read2Go, all the other different ways of interacting with the text. They also have information on Braille Note, because I know there may be a few of our Braille students available, how these books can be working with your Braille system. All right, Shelley, I've said a lot of words. Do I have any questions yet?
I do not see any. Kimberly?
Well, I'm not seeing any questions except a little bit earlier. We had a question about, is Bookshare appropriate for early childhood intervention, the birth to 3? And so this was from a question from a Sooner Start counselor. And yes, it's kind of like it is yes, but answer. Bookshare is appropriate for all ages. There are books all the way from, very young up, through adult. I would just say that for the youngest kids, the things that are going to make it accessible and engaging and fun are available, from other sources for the young kids, because all kids, learn by having adults read to them, by having, engaging books that are tactile, or, that can be, helping turning pages and things like that. Fun and engaging. Human voices sometimes are a little bit more engaging than the electronic voices, I would say, for all readers. We're all getting used to electronic voices, but for the very young kids, a human read voice, an audio book. And there's so many out there. I think that those of you who are teachers could probably name off some of the choices that are out there for kids, in education and for kids who don't have to meet specific qualifications. So yes, you can find books for young children, but don't limit yourself to Bookshare for that. There's so many ways to get books.
A lot of times when I see that infant to 3 being used is when it's a parent can't hold the book, or when the parent can't read the book physically, but they could be able to use the technology to read the book to their own child. So that might be more appropriate than an actual individual student at that age using it.
If we have a chance to, now I should probably check with Amy, but if Amy doesn't mind, Amy Woods, if you don't mind being put on the spot, you have done some work with early childhood literacy, and I'm trying to get to where I can see you on my screen and see if you're freaking out that I'm about to put you on the spot. Maybe you could talk about some of the book adaptations for physical books to read.
Sure. So we did an early literacy training a while back when I first started a couple years ago. And there's all different kinds of ways to adapt books, board books and paperback books. You can use popsicle sticks. You can use wiki sticks. You can use fuzzy balls. You can use large paper clips so kids can turn the pages and have some tactile cues in the books for them. You can also just finger read with them and tracking. But Bookshare is also great too. Sometimes us parents need, 5 minutes, and you could pop up a book on Bookshare and, have the kids listen to the books. Or, like Tiffany said, if a parent can't hold the book or a sibling can't hold the book and the sibling wants to read, with the younger child, then it's a perfect resource. But there's lots of avenues for early literacy and book reading. Anything else you may add?
Up here at the top of the book, of all the Bookshare pages, you have the browse and advanced searches. Under the browse, you get to their popular collections pages. If you're looking to be able to assign books quickly to your kids, it's a great place to start. They have a section dedicated just to the teachers. So you'll have the Lexile, the Level Readers, different NIMAC collections. Some of them, we're not a Common Core state, but for those states who do have Common Core, have those ability as well. One of the things that I think is kind of hidden is for the kids, they actually have the accelerated readers books. So if you have kids who are needing to take those accelerated reader points, they have the accelerated reader list where you can assign an entire grade level of books. So, I mean, just for example, the 2 versus 2.9, I think it's got they've got 207 books added to that collection. And so they're going to be most of the, and because they are tied to the AR, you're going to know that they're pretty good quality collection of books. The other category that I would tell you to look at is that we are in Oklahoma, and if you search all of the collections, it's going to put it into a very boring list. But if you type SEQ and you hit enter, the second and third list are our Sequoia. So we're able to add the 2020 Sequoia list from last year that now I think voting has closed on. But for the next year's voting, the Sequoia 2021 books have already been added. So there's the 36 books that are available for the Sequoia list. You can add those to your kids' list. They haven't broken down into the children's high school and intermediate so that you can assign those if you would like. Or if you wanted to, you could copy the whole list and assign it that direction. The nice thing about that is, it's something that's Oklahoma native, but we really enjoy it. If you know of another list that you really like, most of the major awards, they have them in the list. They also have different collections based on some of the different school districts. So although we don't have any of them here in Oklahoma, if you wanted to have an idea of what some people are adding as grade levels, like the Baltimore City Public Schools grade 3 text, they have all of their books, they have 24 books that they automatically assign to their third graders. And there are different collections of books. That might be another way of finding great lists and being able to share those. One thing I really do like is that if you find a book, and I'm trying to think of a good book to think of, any title that you have, you can always search for up here. So like the Magic Tree House, you can search quickly and find the Magic Tree House books all together. And the internet will work. There it goes. So they have 125 of the Magic Tree House books. You could assign those quickly to your kids. Always try to look over here to the left. So based on the Magic Tree House, they're giving me some other people that might be good choices for books. And if you're on any particular book as well, you're going to have on the left-hand side those additional recommendations. That's something they've been working hard the last couple of months to work on, is being able to see what other books might be able to be added to those. So you might be able to find different collections. So I really want to know what questions anyone has. Does anybody have a particular question?
If you can stop sharing, I will share and answer the question from Michelle.
Okay.
She's asking, is there a particular text, if a particular textbook isn't available on Bookshare, is there a way to request that it be added? So definitely there is a way. I'm going to
Are you
go.
logged in? Are you
I am
logged in
going.
with the account?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to show how that you would request that. I'm going to share. Let's see if I can share the right thing here. Let's see. Zoom, share screen. I'm going to share my Google Chrome browser because that's where I am logged into. I'm talking really slowly so I can try to find it. I'm logged into the, well, I cannot find the right account. That's so crazy. Tell you what, I'm just going to share my regular, my Zoom that I'm normally in. Are you guys seeing my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll get into Bookshare. So it's, you search for the book the same way that, gotta move this stuff out of my screen. You search for the book the same way that Tiffany showed. And if you can't find it, then, it's not, you're basically searching in the search bar at the open. At the top, if you can't find it there, then the thing to do first before you fill out a request is actually to go to the NIMAC, which is a different website, and it's nimac.us. And this is the craziest thing. I can hardly see on my screen to get the plus button. So sorry. Give me just a second. Okay. I'm going to go to nimac.us. And if you haven't heard of NIMAC, that's the National Instructional Materials Access Center. And that was something that was created in IDEA 2004. It's what kind of set this whole process in motion of having textbooks available. So you don't have to be a member to search the NIMAC, but you can just go to nimac.us and put in the title of the book that you were searching for. So you would have to, let's see, I got to think of some title of Oklahoma books. Reading Street, maybe. I'll just put in Reading Street. So let's say this was the book I was looking for. You can search it by the ISBN number, but you find the book that you want. And if it's there in the NIMAC, then that means that that Bookshare can get it. And so you would just view the details, and then you can copy the information, just copy and paste about the book. And then you go back to your Bookshare account. And then when you go to the Help Center and request a book, then you just copy that information into their form and say, please get this book for me from the NIMAC. And they usually say that it will take a couple of weeks, or that it could take up to a couple of months. In practice, it's very fast. It just depends on what kind of demand they've got. It might be slow. It could be slow now because there's probably the whole world using Bookshare, but, and at the beginning of school, things can get tough. But request a book is under this Help Center, and it's just an email that form that, you're going to pick, and you can copy the information into it.
The other thing I was going to say, because I don't think we're seeing your screen, is anytime you search for a book, it would, and I did a search for sea turtles, knowing it would give me a bad error. You will have a request to add a book show up, and you can fill out that information with the title and the copyright. She is right. The NIMAC is the fastest, quickest, easy way of doing it. Books that are available on the NIMAC are only available for our IEP students. So if you know you're going to also need it for your 504 students, you're going to make sure you want to identify that you need it in the NIMAC, but you also are wanting it for a 504 student. It's a technicality in law that they're working on trying to repair, but for a 504 book, Bookshare actually buys the book, cuts the binding off, scans it, and then has to digitally put the information in themselves. But you can quickly fill this out. The other thing is, if you know you have a book out for selection and everything, on your main dash screen, when you log in, this is the first screen you have. It will have the top news and everything. Along your left-hand side where you have members, sponsors, it will say My Requests. So if you've requested a book, it will have your open request here. And like here, it shows me that there were 3 closed requests. So these were 3 books that have been added that were part of a request from somebody, from the organization. So that's a quick way of seeing if a book has been added. If you know you're going to do a textbook adoption and starting in the fall, and you know what those books are, make that request as soon as you have it, so that those books can be purchased and available for both sets of your students. And that's the one question I end up getting a lot from school districts is, I've requested it, it's in my NIMAC, but it's not showing up for this student. And the reason being is more than likely that student's on a 504, and the NIMAC is only available for our IEP students. And it's a technicality that drives several of us crazy, but it is a technicality that unfortunately by law we can't get around right now.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So for the 504s and for the just general education, those of you that are trying to help the kids without, that are not under special education, that's the point to talk about universal design for learning. As soon as we can get all the publishers on board with creating things that are accessible, and if they are creating textbooks and they're selling them to schools and they're electronic, these things should be completely accessible. It's in the law, it's in legislation federally as well as in our state law that agencies that have government funding can't buy textbooks and technology that's not accessible. So for your 504 students, the schools should not be buying and getting materials that aren't accessible. That's the bottom line. We know in practice you still have some old materials that are out there that may not meet the needs. So going through Bookshare and requesting it is great. You can also request it directly from publishers. AbleTech is the NIMAC, is an accessible or authorized user of the NIMAC. And so with that, we can help you with requesting books. We can, if you want to stop sharing your screen, that'd be great.
Oh, I was going to answer one quick question. We had somebody, I went to the advanced, I had someone ask how to find books for EL students. I had gone to the advanced search. It pulls up this information. Very quickly, you can go and just pick Spanish and hit the advanced search if that's the language they have. You can do it for Russian, and it will quickly pull up the books that are available. If you needed to filter it down into children's books, you could hit children's books and refine it more so that you could see exactly which books are available in that language.
Cool. Yeah. So again, we're the NIMAC, we're a NIMAC authorized user, and so we can help with any of the schools if you're having difficulty with finding books that you should have, that should be available. The State Department of Education has a great department. They're writing their contracts, making sure that that the textbooks that are on the state approved adoption list, that those are accessible. They are getting put into the NIMAC. And if it is an electronic textbook, that it meets the Section 508 requirements, and meets the Americans with Disability Act and, all the applicable laws. So, but just reach out to us and we can help you if you're trying to find books for, especially textbooks, for your students that don't, and it's not available in Bookshare. We have about 10 more minutes. We do have a couple polls at the end. So
Kimberly,
to make sure we get all your questions in. Shelley?
could you just take a second again? There's a couple of people on the Zoom meeting that are not familiar with NIMAC. Maybe just give the general, what does that stand for, and kind of review that one more time on Shelley's language, who's not an expert on it.
Yes, so it's National Instructional Materials Accessibility Standard is just a file format that the publishers have to they just have to save their textbook in a file, and it can be other curricular materials as well. So it's the workbooks, anything that the school's buying. That's it's the accessible educational materials. They have to just put it into this file format. They submit it to this library, this database, access center. It's called the NIMAC. It's the National Instructional Materials Access Center, just a clearinghouse. And then that is where Bookshare, who is an accessible media producer, actually pulls it down from, and then they do the file's not ready to be read at the point that it's in that NIMAC center. So Bookshare does some other things to it to make it ready to be, downloaded in the various formats. Bookshare books can be downloaded in DAISY files. It can be HTML, which is like a website. They can be downloaded as Word docs, EPUBs, Braille ready formats, several different kinds of Braille, levels of Braille ready formats, all kinds of different ways that the books can be available. Once an accessible media producer has gotten a hold of them. So yeah, it's just kind of complicated technical language. You don't ever really have to deal with the NIMAC. It's just that it's there, and you'll save yourself some steps or save time if you figure out that it is available there. If it's not available, then Bookshare can help with getting it, or I can help and search and try to connect you with the publisher to try to get a book, one way or another, because the publishers are cooperative when reached out to get. They tend to try to be helpful these days. It hasn't always been that way, but it's definitely working out that way. Do we have any other questions? We have about 8 minutes left.
I thought if people were interested, this would be a great time if they wanted to unmute themselves and ask a question in person rather than through the chat box. You're welcome to.
Just tell us how things are going with your online schooling. How is learning at home, different? How's it working for you? What are the challenges? Jana, great house. I know you'll talk.
Hi, Jana.
Oh boy, will I. Hi. Challenges, I think, once we had what was in place for our general education students, we had a group of teachers who worked really hard to create distance learning menus for our students with special needs. And then beyond that, those got rolled out, but then we were also trying to keep a list of resources that are free and specific to our related service providers so that they could supplement to really individualize instruction for those students. But that was a lot. And so I think we're all kind of still reeling from that a little bit. And then, just trying to get ESY going, and which that's going to be distance learning also. And so I think it's just been a crazy few weeks. So I think just overall the challenge has been all the change and just trying to be efficient in getting resources and instruction materials to students.
Yeah, I hear you. I bet everybody is going through the same thing. Anybody else want to tell how things are going at their school? Or any parents on with us want to talk about what it's like from a parent perspective? I can tell you, I've got a 17-year-old, and she is bored to tears. I think we probably, and I've heard from another a colleague in another agency she's got the other side of the spectrum. Her son she's saying he's, I think that he's having lots of challenges, and it's, high expectations. Maybe my daughter's school, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I mean, it's just not, they're not challenging them a lot, so I think there's probably a range.
I think it's depending a lot on the grade and the school district, and a lot of dynamics that go into that.
Yep. Hey, we have just
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say we're right on schedule. I had left kind of the last 5 minutes to go ahead and bring up the polls. We still have a few more minutes if anybody does want to talk or ask questions. But Shelley, if you don't mind bringing up our final polls, we just want to make sure we get some feedback. All right, so how did you hear about the event? You guys can go ahead and answer that. We definitely shared it on Facebook. We sent out lots of emails.
Doing a post Q&A survey in poll is new to us. So thank you for being our guinea pigs to practice this. I hope you can see the poll. Do I need to scroll down? Can you see the whole thing on your side?
I see it.
I can see it well.
Perfect.
You do kind of have to scroll through it when you see it. It's a couple of different questions. So how did you hear about us? How do you rate the event? Excellent, I hope. No comments about me not knowing how to share my screen. I think I did that 2 or 3 times, so my apologies.
Hey, Kimberly, it's okay. We're all in learning curves of learning to work and share and meet remotely. I don't think anybody here is going to hold it against anybody else.
I should know this by now. Let's see. The big one we're really wanting to know, I think Tiffany mentioned it earlier, that our next webinar is going to be Microsoft. A representative that Tiffany actually helped us connect with, Rachel Berger, I believe, yep, from Microsoft, and she's going to be giving us some information about some reading tools. And then the following week, she's going to come on. Shelley, what is the next week's topic?
So is the first week is reading and writing. And then the second series will be diving deeper into reading and writing and math and communication. Microsoft actually 2 days ago rolled out a new live version that is available to the public. You don't just have to have a paid subscription to Outlook or the Microsoft product. It's making it more available to the general public, and it has so many built-in accessibility features. So that's why we're extending it into 2 different Tech Thursdays. The first week will be really focused on reading and writing. Second week, reading, writing, math, and communication, and lots of extra time for question and answer. I think you guys, if you will come back, I've been sitting in on different webinars on Microsoft and seeing their products, and it's amazing the things that they have that are built-in tools. I think you'll be pleased if you join us.
Yeah, Rachel's really good. I really like having presentations with Rachel. And I didn't show it today, but one of the things that she'll probably show is how you can bring a book in and have it to where it has the immersive reader availability. And if you're an English teacher, let me just tell you, there are ways of turning on your nouns and verbs into different colors so that you can say, okay, let's find the nouns. And then when you're ready, you hit the click button and they all turn red so everybody can check their work really quickly. Fabulous. And you have the ability to control all those different settings. And so she'll have lots of fun things to share.
I've been using it a lot as I would like Grammarly, where I can go in and do editing as I'm writing different articles and things. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to learn more about it if you haven't yet.
Pretty cool stuff. Okay, so we're getting real close to being done. I wanted to go ahead and share the back to the PowerPoint slide, if I'm sharing correctly, which I think I did this time. So the next Tech Thursday, you will hopefully hear about it the same way you heard about this one. We'd love to have you join us. We did have to postpone the part 3 of our AT workshops earlier, so those are rescheduled. We will be sending out information soon to the people who were previously registered. We also added late in the year, this year, we added the AT funding workshops. So we have that on June 5th and June 12th. Those are all available to be registered in Eventbrite, and you will find the information from our website. And let's see, I'm going to take us to our contact page. So Tiffany Jenkins, Certified Academic Language Therapist, thanks so much for joining us. And her contact information is right there, Tiffany at weokiefarm.com. The Able Tech website and phone number are there. You can call 800-257-1705. And we're not in the office, but our number, your calls will get forwarded, your voicemails will get forwarded to the right staff member. You can visit our website, okabletech.org. And of course, you can email us. The email address is abletech@okstate.edu. And again, whoever the question's for will get it forwarded to the correct staff member. So again, thanks, Tiffany, for joining us. And thanks to everybody who joined us for coming on today. And we do hope to see you again soon. So have a great day.